The Mandalorian Season 2 had a lot of surprises, especially in the last episode, Chapter 16. Luke Skywalker shows up to rescue the trapped Mandalorians Fennec Shand and Cara Dune. The child, Grogu, is taken away in a tear-filled moment to train with Luke Skywalker, who vows his life to protect Din Djarin's second half of his clan Mudhorn. But the biggest surprise came after the credits, the Book of Boba Fett. I will be talking about what I perceive as the future for our favorite anti-hero today on Star Wars Fanatic. If you are new to the channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications to see future videos as I release them. Also, hit the thumbs up to show some love for the hard work I put into the videos, and share the video with your Star Wars friends. I won't go over the events after the credits of The Mandalorian Chapter 16. I think we all know by now that Boba Fett kills Bib Fortuna, and takes the throne in Jabba's palace, as Fennec Shand leans next to him sipping blue spatchka. Okay, so I did go over the events briefly. You're welcome. But what I want to discuss is what will happen next. If you know me well enough, you know I have at least one theory. Now, don't take my theories as facts. I don't get upset when my theories don't happen, but I do rejoice when they do. I will start this off by saying I think Boba Fett repainted his armor for a reason. I will link the video I made on it in the description and the comments. But on top of that, I find it very curious that Boba also reapplied the Journeyman's Protector badge on his chest and the Mythosaur skull on his shoulder. Marks of a Mandalorian. Kinda strange for someone wanting to start a criminal empire from Jabba the Hutt's palace. But maybe he isn't creating a criminal empire after all. I think it will start out as his intention maybe to create a bounty hunter haven. Boba Fett was not a criminal. He was a bounty hunter. Someone who didn't take sides and earned his living hunting those who were most likely seen as criminals, such as Han Solo and Luke Skywalker. So, I feel like he is going to turn into the reluctant leader of the new true Mandalorians. That doesn't mean all Mandalorians will follow him, especially those like Bo-Katan Kryze, who want their own power. But, how will he do it? We see Din Djarin with the Darksaber at the end of The Mandalorian Season 2. Keep in mind that the Book of Boba Fett will take place at the same time as The Mandalorian, Season 3, Ahsoka, and The Rangers of the Republic. If they follow the Marvel model, all paths will cross and intertwine at some point or points in time. They may even culminate into their own movie, almost a Star Wars version of the Avengers. Only, the big bad won't be Thanos. It will most likely be Thrawn. The Book of Boba Fett will show him finding his way through the galaxy as not such a simple man anymore, but a leader, a reluctant one. We have seen that he doesn't suffer fools and he doesn't waste time explaining himself. He has this code of honor, and that's enough for him. He has nothing to prove to anyone, but we do see a hint of his caring side in the Clone Wars when he hesitates to leave the clone cadets floating in space helplessly. In Legends, Boba Fett became the Mandalorian leader, or Mandalore, after the Yuuzhan Vong War. I think this series is going to follow Boba Fett in Legends, but a little more loosely. So instead of the Yuuzhan Vong, he will prove himself against the Imperial Remnant, run by none other than Grand Admiral Thrawn. I believe the Darksaber will be destroyed by either Boba or Din Djarin, with the premise that the Darksaber represents segregation of the Mandalorian people and inner conflict and turmoil. Since the Darksaber's creation has done nothing but cause conflict in the Mandalorian people and sought out those wanting to gain power in places of high authority. And I also believe that Boba Fett is going to use Jabba's palace as a new home for Mandalorians. He may not have started it out that way. It may be his haven for the bounty hunters, like I said before, but I think it's going to end up being the home for Mandalorians. Tatooine goes largely unnoticed by the Republic due to how hard it is to occupy, all the way out in the Outer Rim. The Republic will allow Tatooine, or New Mandalore, to become autonomous and rule itself in neutrality, like the Mandalore of the past. The inhabitants on Tatooine will be allowed to join into the new way of life or remain the way they always have been. And I'm not talking about the Tusken Raiders. They will largely be left alone. I'm talking about individuals like the moisture farmers or the rondo herders, stuff like that, not so much the Jawas or the Tusken Raiders. Bo-Katan and her Night Owls will join the new Mandalore as one along with the remnants of the Children of the Watch. All houses will unite in peace and prosperity while keeping their warrior tradition as protectorates of Tatooine. They have seen what Civil War has done to weaken their structure and will not let it happen again, at least not in this generation. I said before that Bo-Katan probably wouldn't join up, and I meant that as in she probably won't join up right away. She'll probably want to fight for it, and that's the reason the Darksaber is going to get destroyed, is because this generation is going to see what that Darksaber represents. Now, for The Mandalorian Season 3, I think we will see a return of Fenn Rau. He has joined Clan Wren, and now that Clan Wren is no longer Death Watch, they are a new perspective. I know a lot of this is pretty simple to figure out, but I really don't think Boba is a criminal warlord by any means. In Legends, he hated Bib Fortuna, or Big Fat Tuna, or whatever you want to call him. Bib was a slaver and a adult entertainment trafficker. That sort of thing was despicable to Boba. He had honor and followed a code. So I think killing Big Fat Tuna, Bib Fortuna, was a pleasure for him, and he took the palace because, well, it was easy and now no one occupies it. I could be wrong on that point, and I probably am, and that's okay. All in all, I do think there are going to be some big surprises. There will be even more cameos from Legends characters and animated characters coming to life. I don't think they will reveal all of them in The Mandalorian, as it will become too saturated with cameos. It's better to spread them out over multiple shows, then bring them all together. I also think there's going to be side stories along the way. We may even see Cobb Vanth rejoin the Mandalorians and maybe even become a Mandalorian, since he is kind of a protector of Tatooine. And with the side stories that are coming out, I would expect to see some more side characters that could eventually develop into their own shows as well. Eventually all this is going to break down and maybe even clarify the sequel trilogy a little bit more. But whatever happens, we know the creative team of Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni understand Star Wars fans and will give us the best stories possible. They have done so much good for the fandom with just 16 episodes of their first show together. Not to mention Dave Filoni's other successes with the Clone Wars and the Bad Batch series coming out and Rebels. Well, that's just my piece of theory. Let me know in the comments below your own theories, or if you think I'm completely wrong. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I do respond most of the time. Even if I just tell you, hey, I agree, and leave a little heart on it or something like that, I'm acknowledging you, and I'm acknowledging your stance. And I appreciate that from all of you. The least I can do is give you my time. Well, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the thumbs up and show me some love for what I do. Also, share the video with some friends and see how high we can make this channel soar. Thank you for watching, and remember, this is the way, the only way.